retest. It just is what it is. It happens. So welcome in, everybody. This is your host, Sean. We are here with the weekly charting session, crypto charting session. And today we're going to be talking about Ethereum and what it currently did and how we're able to manage the market. We are riding this bad boy up and down, still with the long terms holding. So sorry about that. My laptop is still in the process of rebooting and rerunning things. So if I get some pop-ups, I'm not trying to advertise y'all. So let's talk about it. Ethereum. We got to rewind to figure out. Well, we got to rewind to recap what got us here. And then I have to explain to you how an inverted head and shoulders pattern work. All right. Is not the best, and it always does happen like this. It kind of sucks, but it is what it is. It's what inverted head and shoulders patterns do. So to rewind, let's zoom back. Let me delete this off. Let's go back to this play right here. Right. We had an inverted head and shoulders. Go back to the 4-hour time frame. Let's kind of put some volume to this chart. Right. Let's make this a little big. And let's see what's going on. So we had a trade, right? 5% stop loss, 60% take profits, and it hit, right? Perfect entry. We did into the stop loss range just a little bit for a moment, but eventually we still got to our target, right? That's how you snipe, okay? That's how you snipe, all right? I'm trying to tell y'all, I am a GOAT with these charts, all right? And this what happens, and this is what it means when you say you have to believe in your trades, all right? No matter what, I'm pretty sure when Ethereum dropped all the way down here, people were shaking. People were scared and all types of stuff, but you gotta believe in these patterns, baby, all right? Because when Ethereum popped up here, guess what? Everybody's like, oh, it's time to buy, it's time to buy. And guess what happens? All the time. That's what inverted head and shoulder patterns do. Because they are a reversal pattern, you have to understand, well, you don't have to understand, but just grasp the fact like this. Because it's a reversal pattern and it's saying that it's going to switch trends, okay, it has to do something dramatic in order for that trend to be switched, all right, which means there's going to be a lot of volatility, which means there's going to be a lot of choppiness. Why? Because the market is correcting itself to go from bearish to bullish, okay? That's why we got all of this choppiness, just liquidating people. But if you held the trade, if you got at the bottom of the right shoulder, guess what? All that choppiness meant nothing to you. Because at the end of the day, guess what? Your target got hit. All right, your target got hit. So when the inverted head and shoulders does stuff like this, there is some components to the inverted head and shoulders that I must share, which is that is very lethal. It is a very lethal pattern to the point where it will fake you out, prove to you that you were right, and then on top of that, take you out the game again, right? So what that means is this. Let's say you got into the trade right here, right? And you wrote it up, boom. Then you came back down and you're like, Sean said, always wait for the bullish retest, right? So I'm gonna wait and hold for that bullish retest. Boom, it shoots up again. You're like, hey, let's go. But we didn't get 28. We got close enough. You know what? I'm gonna get out the trade, right? You get out the trade or you take some profits, right? Price comes right back down, right? And it goes right back up and then it comes right back down again. Now, at this point, you're like, I'm happy I took the profits, right? So you don't pay attention to this drop. You like, man, yeah, that's gonna fall. It's gonna fall. But guess what? It starts to do something like this. And when it does this first rip up, right? And then it does this second rip up. Oops, I done grabbed something. When it gets ready to do this second rip up, most of the time people catch the pumps and realize that, hey, this thing's gonna run again, right? They catch it somewhere right here. The good people, right? The good fast people, right? They catch it right here. They catch it right within this candlestick, right? So after that happens, they come in, they see the consolidation, they say, oh, we're finna go. We're finna go. And they're right. We are finna go. And then boom, 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 boom. And then they're like, oh my gosh, it just went to 2050. It's going to 3,000. It's going to 3,300, right? They started telling themselves that it's going to surpass this target and then start to go up to the next target, right? It's going to start completing all past all of this resistance, right? Because this was the first attempt. This is the first attempt, second, third, fourth, final breakthrough, right? So people's like, oh yeah, it's time to go. Next thing you know, it takes you all the way out, right? And now you're back at zero, which in all, most people, they just get out the market, right? They say, dang it, I should have took profits. I should have did this. I should have did that. But you got to understand that you was caught in the momentum of price action. You know, you was caught in the now and not in what already said that it was going to be done, right? What already was kind of predetermined what was going to happen, which was the fact that Ethereum was going to go to 2850. And usually when you're messing with an inverted head and shoulders pattern, these things dump nasty. When they dump nasty, they dump nasty, which is why I'm not paying attention to this inverted head and shoulders, right? You know which one I'm paying attention to? The one that got us here. This one right here. This is the initial inverted head and shoulders pattern that got us all the way to the top in the first place, which let us know that, hey, we are entering a bull market for Ethereum, right? This is the initial inverted head and shoulders that we pointed out that said, hey, man, this thing is going to go, it's going to rip, and then it ripped, right? This was our entry. This is everything that we was waiting for, right? We was all right here, all on this pattern, right? These things, this was the beginning of the bull run for us. This was the reversal pattern. Now, the same way that after this did this and it dumped like that, I see that overall, this whole thing, right? This whole thing is going to dump and rip through all of this back down to the downside. Just because of what? We got the breakout and we never came back down in bullish retested. All right. We never came back down and bullish retested. Now, mind you, when we bullish retest, we might not bullish retest off the neckline of this inverted head and shoulders pattern. We might even bullish retest somewhere into this area of the actual head, depending on how many people believe in the market or don't believe in the market. All right. It really depends on us. To me personally, it really depends on us. It depends on how many people start to buy as Ethereum starts to fall. Do I think, let's see, the daily time frame says that Ethereum is kind of holding above this 200-day moving average. Do I think that it's going to hold? Let's use some indicators to kind of see. But also let's go and get rid of this trade, right? We don't need it no more. Let's get rid of this inverted head and shoulders, and let's look at what currently happened today. Today, what I smelled from the market was bearish territory. It was bearish territory through and through. Why? What I always say, rounded tops do not pay the bills. And the first thing I seen when I woke up this morning was this nasty thing right here. That's the nastiest top I've ever seen. So when I see something like this, right, because I have a bullish mindset, the first thing I think of, this thing either form a cup and handle, or it's going to form or it's going to form some type of head and shoulders pattern, right? But the opposite. So it's going to be an inverted cup and handle or an inverted head and shoulders. I mean, or a bearish head and shoulders pattern, right? Now, as I'm looking at this, the first thing that I see is, where does price continuously bounce off of, right? If I see that we've been ripping, bounce, 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 bounce. First thing I'm thinking of, bro, there's some type of head and shoulders pattern in here. That's too many bounces off of resistance, right? Off of support, and then after that, off of resistance. All right. So first thing I did was look for the neckline. All right. Look where price is bouncing off of continuously. All right. So I just literally, looking at this rounded top, I just started to take it down. I said, okay, from this point forward down, I need to find where this inverted head, where this head and shoulders pattern was formed. So I just kept taking it down to every single drop that it made. At this drop, do I see any bounce? Oops, excuse me, take that back. At this point, do I see any bounces? No, I don't see no bounce on the left side, or I see some on the right side, right? Got a little bit on the right side, but not enough. So I pull it down some more. I pull it down right here, and I say, all right, dude, this got some bounces. Oh, what? Get out of here, bro. That is so rude. I'm gonna find a way to get that uninstalled, and when I do, they're gonna be so mad at me. Oh man, I can't wait to get that uninstalled. But where can I see that? Let me go to the 7-minute. I'm trying to see where I actually seen it at. So did that one work? Not necessarily. No. Let's pull it down some more to about right here. Could that have worked? Now, when I looked at this, I said this could have worked, could have not worked, but we shall see. Let's see. Pull it down some more. I said, does that work? I mean, that looked like it kind of works, right? That looked like a head, right? And this looks like a left shoulder, right? And this looks like a right shoulder that formed and then started to do some bearish retest. So I said, you know what? There goes my vertical head and shoulders, right? I mean, there goes my bearish head and shoulders pattern. So I drew it up because, like I said, rounded tops do not pay the bills. So I drew it up, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, bam. Because all of those bounces and all of those bounce off support now bounces again on the other side of this little hip. It just spells for downside. It just really does. It spells for downside. So once I found it, and actually I want to say that actually wasn't it, because this looks more like it. Let's put it right here. Boom to boom. And then actually stretch this out, put it over here, boom, and then stretch this out to boom, because that's exactly what I seen. It's more resemblance to what I seen earlier, because what I was catching was that these little hills, right? This one little hill, two little hill, three little hill. I was like, that could be a bearish, head and shoulders pattern within itself. So we took it, played it, pulled the measure move, right, from top to bottom, right? Put it at the bottom of your neckline, and then boom, bada bing. We see that we get, I don't know what I drew back here. It's somewhere. I'm gonna have to find it, but it's on the Discord. But we pull it down and we said that, hey, we see that Ethereum is going to retrace down to 26.90 first, just because that looked like it was a good support area. And once we got to 26.90, we did get a little bit of bounces. We did feel some rejection, but eventually broke right down through it. And then now we're doing a consolidation for a bearish retest back to the upside. We have to confirm that this is now resistance. So what is price action going to do? It's going to shoot itself way back up to resistance now, because this was support. Now it's doing an SNR flip, which is where you flip either support to new resistance or resistance to now new support. All right. We was doing a resistance to support area right here, right? So we flipped this resistance, bounced above it, came above it, used it as some type of support, and then start to bounce up off of it, right? Start to use it as support. Every time we hit there, boom, bounced up off it. Hit it, boom, bounce up off it, right? We started to use it as support. So we turned resistance into support. Now we're turning that same support back into resistance. So we have to go sit here and come test it out, right? So it's a relief rally where this is a great opportunity for if you were down in a trade, right? Because you thought that it was about to rip, because some YouTuber said, I'm buying. All right. Okay. If you followed them and you're stuck right now, this is the perfect opportunity for you to come get your money back, cut your losses. Relief rallies are the time to get ready to cut your losses. All right. Don't sit here and get stuck in thinking that we're about to rip to the top. It was a fake out. No, buddy, no. He wasn't ready. Do not believe that. You have to zoom out. You have to zoom out and realize that we are in a bigger picture. Okay. And if you want to be immediate, with Ethereum and you want to say, Sean, I think we're going to hold and consolidate. Listen, I hope we do. All right. I'm a buyer, so I hope we do. Then pull your Fibonacci retracement. If you believe that is true, pull your Fibonacci retracement, and don't pull it from right here. Pull it from the lowest point. All right. That started the beginning of this uptrend, right? Because this was the uptrend. Boom. We hit a peak, came back down. the end of our downtrend, which now started our uptrend. So we can be in some sideways, we could be in some sideways rising wedge action, something that looks like this. Okay. I'm not opposed to this at all. All right. I am so not opposed to this. Okay. But at the end of the day, still, if you're going to believe in this rising wedge forming, where Ethereum, where it's basically going to keep bouncing up and down, up and down, up and down, and then it's going to rip. I forgot what pattern they called that. It was like the widening baritone, something, the widening wedge, basically, where prices keeps going up and down, up and down, up and down, and then it breaks all the way out, right? You couldn't believe in that. I've seen it happen before. What I would say is, if you want to catch that type of move, instead of waiting for price to get down here off of one of these to hit your bottom trend line, just pull your Fibonacci. All right. Oh, that's not the Fibonacci. This is the Fibonacci. So from bottom all the way to top, and look for where your 618 fib level is. Okay. This is where I'll be looking to possibly catch a nice bounce off of Ethereum. But now you do see where the 886 fib level, I mean, where the 0.5 fib level is right here, where the fake out, which is where our bearish target is going to take us. Once that bearish target gets hit, okay, all right, even if we come down to this one right here, okay, the original target, right, if it comes down to this, we can easily see a big relief rally back to the upside. All right. If this pump does not suffice and it decides to go ahead and do a little loop pull, okay, and it just gives out, perfect, right? Because now you'll be setting yourself for a huge inverted cup and handle play. All right. To where you have now capped the cup, right? And now you need a big handle to take you back to the upside for your bearish retest. All right. Just keep this as a possibility. Okay. This is a strong possibility that this can form. All right. Based off your bearish measured move. Okay. To the downside to 2580, 2590, whichever one you want to go, 2600 and below. Okay. Based off of that downward movement. Okay. You can sit here and plan a decent relief rally back to the upside. Now, this move may only be about, let's say, probably about 10 or 8% for, it's about 6% for Ethereum. But that same move can be 20% for altcoins, 35% for altcoins. Okay. If the altcoins are about to do a 15 to 17% drop, some of them can spike for 40. Some of those that sit, and then some of those that are still sitting in inverted head and shoulders patterns, like IOTX. So let's see, IOTX still has yet to hit the full inverted head and shoulders measured move. Let's see. Did I delete it? Dang it! I think I deleted it. No, I didn't. Here we go. Here we go. It's still here. I was gonna say I thought I deleted it. Right? See how this IOTX trade is still alive, still thriving, right? To incorporate, even if from the last time we bounced, boom, right? And we got rejected, came back down. Look what I did. I pulled my Fibonacci, right? I want to measure this impulse from the bottom to top and say, hey, if this retraces down to the 618 fib level, guess what? I'm still within my stop range, okay? Now, I could either close the trade at break even and say, you know what? I want a better entry down here, deeper into my right handle, right? I mean, my right shoulder. I can get a better entry deeper into here, all right? Or I can say, you know, I'm just going to add to the bag once it gets there, which is why I have my alert right here. It's really decision time. That's all it is. I can even take some of the money out, right? And say, you know, I'm going to take half out, leave half in just in case, right? And then once it drops, okay, now I'm going to put the other half back in there. I'm glad it dropped. So now, boom, bada bing, I have a better ratio. I can even lower my stop loss if I wanted to, or I could just sit here and just let it sit, right? I just let it sit and let it do what it do. And after that, we're looking for that still 42% move overall, right? When these things, when Ethereum retraces, okay, when Ethereum retraces and goes to the 618 fib level, all right, that can be a spark for IOTX to start its bull run to that 42%. All right. And that can be for a lot of tokens. Okay. Now, those measured moves, all right, is going to follow the market. If this pump, if Ethereum decided to pump, we still listen, y'all. I'm not gonna hold off the fact of the rules of a bullish retest. Okay, I still think that we need to pull back some. We need to pull back something. We got to pull back somewhere into this consolidation area, right? To feel comfortable. For me to feel comfortable, I want to get back in this safe place. This is Ethereum's safe place right now. Get back in that safe place. Let's get some more buyers, and after that, let's gather ourselves, right, to go ahead and pump all the way back to the upside, all right, and then get to the rest of resistance that we need to go visit. Okay, let's go do that. Now, if it doesn't, and it decides to pump right outside of here, then cool by the beans, right? Cool by the beans. There's no issue with that. But still, I would rather see that happen because it's going to give us a clear direction in the market when it's time to buy up for some altcoins on this relief rally. Okay, so that's why I think like that is I have to combine what the market needs to do based off its own rules with what the patterns project. All right, using the Fibonacci, understanding that we're going to a 0.5 fib level, which is a fake fib level, okay, which is a fake bullish fib level, which means that if you see a cup and handle, all right, if you see an inverted head and shoulders, all right, or even an ascending triangle, okay, if those pop, I would advise you to take profits. If this cup and inverted cup and handle is true, all right, when that pop happens, when we do this relief rally, that is the time for you to say, I made my money, I'm getting out the market. All right, not financial advice, just advice. All right, that's how I'm eyeballing the market right now, because I understand that inverted head and shoulders are always going to do a nasty pullback once they're hit. I've seen it too many times. Every time inverted head and shoulders measure move is hit, it pull backs hard. It pulled back so hard, and I've never seen returns come in abundance and leave in abundance. Okay, the trade still be open, you'll still be left in profits, but something may pop for 70, 80, 130% within 2 hours, and then after that it's going to sit here and drop in the next 3 hours, and now you're only up like 20%, and it's stalling at 20% for the next week. It's stalling around 15, about 23% profit range, and you're just sitting there like, what in the absolute fuck? Like, how did I not take profits at the top? Because now I'm just sitting here looking at these little last profits, hoping and praying that it don't fall again. That's what inverted head and shoulders patterns do to you. They will. It's a big correction pattern. It just is what it is. It's a big correction pattern. So I'm throwing a lot of sauce on inverted head and shoulders. I feel like I should have went into it in Tuesday session. But I don't think I got too much deep into it on the inverted head and shoulders pattern and how it moves and how you can use the Fibonacci retracements to understand the inverted head and shoulders pattern as well. Like I said, if we retrace down to this 0.5 fib level, which is our first fake out fib level, I'm going to expect a nice relief rally to the upside, and then I'm going to expect a nice down 2 hour measured move. All right, and then even past that, boom, give us a little extra to that 618 fib level. All right, and then from that big red day, then guess what the next day should be? It should be green. Why? Because we're hitting the 618 fib level, and if price comes all the way down to the 0.65, that is the golden pocket. All right, those are bullish levels on the Fibonacci. So you can literally anticipate your green days and just wait out your red days. All right, this is swing trading at its best. Okay, so just to kind of give y'all kind of insight on how to stay on top of the market. And if y'all have questions about how did he know that today? How did he know that was going to happen today? How did he know? It's because of this trading strategy that I've developed. I let the market tell me what it wants to do. I respect it. I believe in it. I place my trade and I let it do what it do. Period. I don't second guess myself no more. We're in there in it. That's it. That's how it has to go. So let's go ahead and go to the Discord. I did post some updated videos on the US dollar tether dominance chart. I did. Welcome in, Amir. Welcome in, Michelle. I didn't even greet y'all when y'all came in. I'm so sorry. I'm over here so inside. Welcome in, Larry. I'm so sorry, y'all. I just got y'all just sitting here in the background listening to me talk. What y'all do? Anybody got any questions for me? Thank you, Michelle. Do anybody got any questions for me? Or do anybody want me to look at a chart before I go to the Discord, before I leave Trading View real quick? All righty. I guess everybody is good. So
wait, I do have a question.
What you got for me, Michelle?
Okay, so as you're talking about like taking profits in Ethereum, you know, when I purchased Ethereum, I purchased it at 1,800. So now I'm up, you know, let's say 1,000.
Right.
So I'm happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
But then if I go ahead and take profits when I get ready to get back in the trade, it's going to be more expensive, right?
Yeah.
So then how do I make money that way?
So what I like to do is have multiple platforms.
Yeah.
So I can have my long term, because 1,800 is a great price. Let me just throw it out there. You did good. So 1,800 is a great price to have Ethereum at. So I would, if you have it on Robinhood or you have it on Coinbase, then I would wait for, let's say, Ethereum to retrace back down to 2,000 or something like that, or 2,100 or something like that, and then I would just place another buy. Now, if you wanted to sell Ethereum, then you have to get a platform that allows you to sell Ethereum, and the only platform that I know that allows you to sell Ethereum is BitUnex. So that's the one that I use inside the group to sell, to enter shorts into the market and to enter longs in the market. So but if you want to take a little profits off the top of your original holdings, you can. That's not a bad, that's not a bad move. It's just that if you want to reinvest it, if you do reinvest it and the price that you reinvested it at on the same platform is higher, then you're going to mess up your average entry. So it's going to kind of mess up your parameters in general. So what I like to do is just go to a different platform, either Coinbase. So I have my long-term trade on Coinbase, and I have my short-term trade on or my medium-term trade on Ethereum on Robinhood. And then I have a Kraken account, and then I have a BitUnex account for a second and third, you know, a platform to either short some Ethereum or to sit here and buy some more Ethereum at a, you know, at a decent price. So I don't mess up my original my original entries.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Anybody got any more questions before we hop over? Awesome. So I gotta kind of refresh myself. I'm not even gonna lie. I have to refresh myself. So let's pull it back over to the Discord because I want to explain what was said. Where was it? Was it position updates? It was. All right. If we get a, okay, so finally hit the inverted head and shoulders target at 2850. 4-hour time frame still has gas left on stochastics. If we just got a bullish MACD crossover, well, okay, we just got a bullish MACD crossover on a daily time frame. Next target 3,300. If ETH retraces to 2,100, then I'll be looking to bullishly trade an inverted head and shoulders pattern. All right, so I threw two hints out with that. All right, the first hint was that, hey, we're still bullish. Right, I see Ethereum going to 3,300. I'm still think that we're bullish overall. If we continue to pump from where we're at after a retracement, then 3,300 would be my target. But if we start to dump, then 2,100 will be the target that I'm looking to start placing some more buys on Ethereum. Now, I have to explain why I said that. The reason why I said that is because of not of Ethereum itself. Like I said, Ethereum is kind of controlled by us. All right. Ethereum has its bullish targets, but where it retraces to, where it pumps to in the midst of going to that target depends on us investors and also people who are leverage trading Ethereum. All right. People are getting liquidated back and forth. That's how the market makes their money during the consolidation period. And people want a long 100x, 200x Ethereum. That's what causes these ups and down bounces. Okay. Now, the other only factor that's playing a role in where Ethereum dumps and pumps to is the US dollar dominance chart. So let's talk about this real quick. It is about to storm, y'all. I don't know what's going on. Let's talk about this right here, right now. Now, what we've talked about since we've been looking at the US dollar, USDT.D chart. All right, I keep trying to throw out the whole name, but the USDT.D chart. I can't get this thing done. US dollar tether dominance chart. USD. You know what? The dollar dominance chart.
Hey, we got you.
Yeah, thank you. The dollar dominance chart. It is what it is. So the dollar dominance chart. There's two scenarios that I was talking about in the group that we could kind of be in. It's either we're in a bullish retest. So let me kind of make this a little bit clear for everybody. All right. We're either in a bullish retest, okay, from a bearish pennant, right? So where we have a kind of triangle to the upside, and we could have broken out of that triangle back to the upside, right, for a bearish retest, where price is going to get rejected somewhere right here in this resistance area and then fall back to the downside. If that happens, I see Ethereum continuing the run. All right, after this nasty drop, right, that we're doing either to 25, 24, wherever it drops down to, I can see that if we do decide to pump, we gonna pump up, and we gonna enjoy some extra more profits on top of our long-term holds, short-term trades. All right, we're still gonna get some more green out of the market, because the only reason why I say that is we want Ethereum to get above and hold above this daily 200 MA, so moving average, right? That would mean that technically Ethereum is bullish. So right now, technically, Ethereum is bullish. We want that to stay. We don't want it to lose this 200-day moving average. All right, this is a big thing right now. We need it to hold. Now, there is one thing that I think that either happened or that I'm watching, and that's this. On a 4-hour time frame, you know how we talk about golden crosses and death crosses with the moving averages of how the 50 and the 200, when they interact, what happens? What we have to be mindful of is this. We do not want this red moving average to cross below this 200 moving average, okay? That will be hellacious for us. All right, that would be too hellacious for us. That would literally pull the market back down. Okay, I don't know how strong of a bear signal that would be, but I do anticipate it would definitely pull Ethereum back down, and it will also just make the fight for the 200-day moving average a little bit longer and a little bit more harder. All right, so let's hope that Ethereum can go ahead and relief rally itself back up, right? Come back down. If it does pass the 200-day moving average, let's hope that it creeps down here and then shoots right back above it, and stop with closing candles below the 200-day moving average. Let's close 1, 2, some more candles above the 200-day moving average. All right. If we can do that, then our bullish hopes, as where we don't have to worry about a stupid retracement, are going to stay alive. All right, they're going to stay alive. Now, the only thing that's going to play a role in Ethereum maintaining this 200-day moving average and the US dollar tether dominance, let's just hope that it don't decide to rip all the way up here. All right, if it does, then hey, we had a wonderful day. All right, but we anticipated it, but we're good. The only thing that's going to really matter is the Bitcoin dominance chart, and this chart is kind of ugly. I just hate this chart because it looks so ugly. It is one of the worst rising handles I've ever seen in my life. It is not the prettiest thing. It is not the sexiest thing, but dang it, does it take a long time for it to form and fill out. We are still one. I don't even know if that's a bottom touch, right? I don't even know if we're at 1-1, right? 2-1. I don't know where we're at with this rising wedge, but if we surpass this resistance, y'all, this thing is most likely going to come up here and tap this resistance area. And if it does, cool. That'll pull Ethereum down some more as well. And also that would set everybody up for a decent entry in the market, period. Because I believe that once we hit this, that's it. Once we hit that, it's game over. All season in full effect, because there's a lot of things right now that are in some nice falling wedges aiming for the 886 fib level when I was doing my Fibonacci retracement. So do I have any update? Go to rain. Do I have any questions about Ethereum, the outlook on Ethereum, the outlook with the US dollar dominance chart, or the Bitcoin dominance chart? Because after this, we're going to be looking to some potential plays. All right, awesome. So the only thing that I see that we kind of hit off of this week, or since the last charting session, was Uniswap. So I did want to take a peek at that, because like I said, if Ethereum's been a pump, things that are strong are going to continue to be strong. And yeah, they should, we should definitely get some love out of those. Let me take this off. Take off swap. I need to find the regular chart that had it. Bam. Cool. I want to pay attention to Uniswap because it did a decent enough pop to the upside to where even if we was to retrace hard, this thing will still be sitting here looking pretty for another bullish entry. We won't have to really worry about let's say, oh, there goes the alert right there going on. We wouldn't have to worry about too much of, let's say, like deciding if this is bullish or not. If Uniswap has pumped all the way up here, let's see, do I see any patterns across the board? No, not really. So we can just pull Fibonacci's and see where the 618 fib level is, and then just go from there. To me, Uniswap is the safest play after it gets to the 618 fib level. All right, it is the safest. It's just the safest play because it's already it did a nice 20% pop, and you can't beat that. You can't beat that before a red day. Things that pop hard before the red day are definitely going to get their licks back after red days. All right. So I'm watching Uniswap. I'm still holding on to my long-term position. I let go of the leverage position. So still holding it long. And if this does not work, if it's a 618 fib level and it doesn't get a decent bounce, or it doesn't look like it's forming a great falling wedge, then guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pull this Fibonacci all the way down to the bottom, and we're gonna say, all right, bad boy, you got to come back down here and get into my chop zone. You got to get to my chop zone. Period. Let's go. Come on, come do what you got to do. I'm waiting for you. I got money in pocket right here, right now, for you to go and come over here and come play with me if you want to, because I am gonna eat you up. Just like you're trying to eat me up, I'm gonna eat you right back up and get some more positions in Uniswap. Because at the end of the day, I see this last target being hit. All right, I see my last target being hit, and about time this does some pullback. Guess where my last target is going to be at? It's going to be right where that 200 moving average is going to be. By the time this gets done pulling back, about what, 4 or 5 more days of pullback? That's going to be 4 or 5 more notches pulled down on this 200-day moving average. And when it decides to want to flip and do about 2-3 more days of consolidation, that should be enough time to get this 200-day moving average right here laying clean on top of our take profit. All right. So that's kind of what I see happening for Uniswap. The only thing is, if you didn't enter it, or if you want to re-enter it, get a second position, because Uniswap is on Coinbase, and I believe it is. It is also on Robinhood. So you can have 2 positions going, which is what I'm looking to do. Uniswap was one of my good plays last year. It did good numbers. So I'm definitely looking to go ahead and long-term hold it once again, because Uniswap is actually one of those good DeFi OGs. To me, it's like #1 OG. So let's go and zoom in real quick, and let's start to draw this falling wedge. All right, let's go and start to track price action and anticipate where it might want to drop down from. So this is a good looking falling wedge. This is very single. We got some parallel lines going on. It don't get no better than that. Those are some clean parallel lines. That is some strong retracement. That's some sexy retracement so far. So let's go into the hour time frame. Let's see what's going on with these moving averages. We can see that we get to the 100. Most likely from the 100, you're going to get a decent bounce back up, then probably hit the top, come back down, and then try to find your way back to the top again to hit the 50 moving average, because it acts as a 200-day moving average once you start to retrace. But let's make this a little bit pretty. I don't know if we're going to drop some more. We can, because I can kind of widen this out just a little bit and it still will look parallel. So because that's the case, I'm going to even leave a little bit room for a breakdown and a, you know, reverse right back up. We could pull up the VRVP as well. We broke this, so we could just be falling straight down to right here. All right, we could just be falling straight down to where support is, or we can hit this level right here, get a little bounce, and then continue to fall. All right, and if that is to happen, then it'd be lining up right on a nice little entry or a nice little spot on our second touch for our falling wedge pattern. All right, so we got one bottom touch, one top touch, right? We got multiple top touches, right? Before we came back down to get our second bottom touch, all right? And if we get our second bottom touch, I'm going to expect us to go get our top touch. And guess what we can do? We can do multiple top touches, just like we did multiple top touches here, before we actually retrace all the way back down to get our third final bottom touch, all right? So Uniswap is still on my radar. I'm still holding my long-term position. Excuse me. So I haven't let it go. So for those who's like, I'm still holding, hey, I'm holding right along with you. All right. Until we come a little bit too far into this little chop area right here, then I'll be looking at the hold up now. What's going on now? But until then, if we able to stay above these kind of nodes right here, stay above about $6.60, I feel pretty safe with holding Uniswap for right now. And even if it drops a little bit, like I said, I won't be mine to go. I wouldn't hesitate to buy some more Uniswap in these levels at $5.91. I believe Uniswap was a good investment. Just because, like I said, it's one of the OG tokens. And once everything starts to kick off, then guess what? Uniswap is going to be one of the ones that actually do some decent damage, because it is at the very bottom. And this is what this is what I like. I like things like this. Overall, it looks like this from $5-6 all the way to possibly at least 30. That's a 5x, right? Even up here to 45, that's an 8x, right? So why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? So I like Uniswap. We're going to hold on to it. We're going to keep watching it. But let me go and show you all some of these trades of why I say that I think the market, I think we're going to be doing a bearish retest on the US dollar dominance chart, right? And actually Ethereum can just hit that one target and going to take us up out of here. Because like I said, I've seen a lot of tokens just honestly just forming these falling wedges to the downside. And they're coming to decent areas. They're coming to decent areas. So let me think of what Peanut was one of the good ones, right? So Peanut did an amazing run up, right? Did an amazing run up. All right. We're talking about this thing that at least over 100%. Oops, that's the wrong one. It did about 200% in gains. That is amazing, right? That was a good about 6-7 days, right? Of just loveliness, right? Now we got to sit here and play the retracement game. And what this looks like, this is like a nice cup and handle, right? Rounded bottom, flag to the downside. Easy play. Easy play. All right, easy play. Only thing you got to do is just be patient, count your tops, count your bottoms, draw your patterns, and just wait. All right, and just wait for that bullishness. So we got one bottom touch so far, right? One bottom touch. We can try to squeeze that to be a top touch. It really depends on you. I'm gonna let that be the top touch, because that's where we start to reject from. So we got one bottom touch, one top touch, coming down for a second bottom touch, probably get a small second top touch, and then this is where it's going to get choppy. Because we all, I repeat the same thing. Cup and handles love this 886 fib level. And you see what's lined up right here. A nice chunky node. All right. After the big node, but we got a nice chunky node right here, which tells me that that chunky node can be our bullish retest node. All right. So if I was to pull this all the way down, right? Let's say that price does this. It's going to pull, hit, reverse, right? Bearish retest, and then just drop, right? Boom, right? Nasty, stupid, little ugly little drop, right? Or it could just drop. It could just drop clean to support, right? Going to give us a nice relief rally, bounce us all the way back up. We may have to stretch this out, right? Depending on how far this stretches up for a bullish retest, for a bearish retest and then fall again, we might have to still stretch this out, right? So you stretch it out. You get it. Boom. So second bottom touch, second top touch, right? Because now this would be 1, 1, 2, 2. That third bottom pullback is going to be nasty. right? If this how it's going to fall, it's going to be nasty, and it's going to be so nasty to where you're going to forget about it, because they be so nasty that I forget them, right? I can't forget about the trade because these be 10-15% drops. We're talking about a good, that's a 20-30% drop. When they say buy the red, you wouldn't think to buy the red on a 30% negative candle. Okay, you just wouldn't think of that. So that's the reverse psychology you got to play with the market, right? Because you're like, hell no, I ain't finna buy that thing just dropped 30%, but you don't know it dropped 30% straight down to the 886 fib level, right? Golden spot, the golden spot. Because if it does, guess what? If you're able to catch it at this price and be able to catch this full measure move back to the upside, you got a decent, let's say, top to bottom, right? Put at the 86 fib level. You're talking about a nice setup, right? Good risk to reward. Another 200% move. And you got at the bottom too. Another 200% move. And your stop loss ain't got to be much. Your stop loss ain't got to be much. It could be right below the next node, right under that 200, right under that 886 fib level. That one right there. Boom. You can just set your stop loss about right here. 8% for 238%. That's a hell of a ratio. That's a hell of a ratio. That's a hell of a ratio. That's some good ratio. So that's what I see happening in the market right now. I see a lot of things flagging out from top to bottom, and they're coming. They already surpassed our bullish levels, right? 618 fib level was right here. We see what happened. It chopped right down, right into it. Bounce. It gave us a decent bounce, but it's showing us that, hey, man, we ain't able to hold and sustain this one, my boy. We're gonna have to slide on you, bro. It was just like, all right, hold it down. You know what I mean? You gotta, hey, I'm gonna see you on the other side. All right, bet that's exactly what's gonna happen, because it's not holding. It's not holding. USD dollar dominance, the USD dominance chart is doing what it's due. Bitcoin dominance chart is trying to make it seem like it want to pump up a little bit more. And Ethereum just hit a bullish level and it got to retrace. It got to retrace. So, hey, the market got to retrace, let it retrace. So these are the scenarios that you could be looking forward to when it comes to, all right, Sean, yo, I done lost some money on this pullback. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Keep it honest. It's okay. I lost some money too. But I realized that I can sell. I don't gotta sit here and let the red just print. I can sell and make some money too. I can join the trend, especially if I point out the pattern. I'm gonna take it. So you take it, and now you use those little, the little $15, $30, whatever you made, and you add it to your big bag. And you say, all right, now I'm planning. Somebody asked me outside the group, and they was like, they said, man, I'm feeling down, bro. Every time I place a trade, I just end up in the loss. I keep ending up in the loss. And I told her straight up, I said, bro, you got to break the trend. Break the trend. You sitting here not necessarily crying. You are venting. You're being vulnerable. But you can't be beating yourself up, because while you beating yourself up during these red times, you're going to miss the green times. You're going to miss the good moments because you're so focused on what you got going on, your ego, whatever the case may feel, and you're beating yourself up. You're getting out the market. Go look at the market. Anytime you feel yourself in the trend where you're constantly keep losing money, right? And you just been on the loser streak, bro. I'll be on loser streak at least twice a month. Twice a month, I'll be on losing streak. Now, because I realized that I was on a losing streak, right? The only way that I fix my losing streaks is by getting back in the market, looking at whatever dumb bullish pattern I drew and say, you was wrong, find the bearish pattern, get in control, period. Because once you stop being stubborn with your perception, all right, once you stop, let's go back to Ethereum. Once you stop being stubborn with your perception of what you want, because we all want Ethereum to pump, right? But once you realize that what you want ain't gonna happen right now, you gotta have patience, right? You gotta sit here and just I gotta delete some of this stuff. I can't see just squat. Boom, boom. Let me take that off too. And we take this off. We just need these two. I just need these two levels. I don't need nothing else. So once you realize that you're in a losing streak, you got to stop and take, let's say, you got to stop and figure out where you went wrong at. So for me, my example can be, let me show y'all the guy that I just kept losing on all week because it never hit target. It never did what I thought it was going to do. Let's talk about TST. This is the token that been beating my ass all week, and I've been trying to figure out why. And I said, Sean, just take the L, bro. You ain't getting it on this one. Now, the only reason why I like this chart was because it was one of the few tokens when the market did that big dip, right? This one did a big dip. It was the only one that dipped inside of the oversold region of the RSI. It was this and two other tokens. This one and Solve, SOLV. So SOLV. Let me show you what Solve did, which is what I was thinking that, which is what I was thinking what TST was going to do. Because where y'all kept seeing me post, I'm in the TST. I'm in the TST. Now y'all seen the TST only went 12%. It never would get me up past like 12%. And it's like I'm 10xing it. So technically only moved 1.2%. So it's just like, yo, what is going on? Next thing you know, if it was about 2 times I didn't raise my stop loss into profits, and I came and checked the trade, I was down 5%. And I'm like, come on, bro, what? And I would have to wait like 2-3 days just for me to back up 12%. And I'm like, okay, you're killing me. Now, Solve, what did it do? Let me just go to Solve spot. This is what Solve did. Solve did the same drop, right? But it popped right back up, right? So I was like, okay, bet. If Solve's going to do that, then guess what? TST should do the same thing because the only 2 tokens in the market that dropped that day for over 20%. So me thinking of, oh, I got to go bearish retest. I'm going to get a quick 200% if I 10x that 20% pullback, right? That thing did not do it. It did not do it. And when I say it's, and it still didn't do it. Now, mind you, I'm going to talk about how fixing your wrongs plays a big role. So while I'm in here, for the past 2 weeks, I'm making decent trades on TST, right? My thing was this. I pulled my Fibonacci, right? I let this first pump happen. I didn't touch this first pump, or I did touch this first pump. No. I caught this pump. I caught this pump. I caught this one. So I think I either missed this first pump or I traded it, made some money, and then got out of it, right? Because I seen it, because I seen a reversal happen. Now, when I really got into it was right here. This is when it went up about what, about 9%. So I think if I did get into it, I most likely got into it right here. So where it was ranging between probably about 25 to about 30% profits on the level trade. Now, every time I kept trading it, I would either make 12% or lose 7 to 5%, no matter what. Every time I would open my phone, it would either be at -7%, -5%, or up 12%. I think about 2 to 3 times. I think I probably even posted a group where it was actually up 40% at one time. I think that only happened one time. So once it did this and it lost this 0.5 fib level, I lost some money, right? I lost, I got stopped out. I got stopped out at break even. So once I got stopped out at break even, I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna wait until it do that last dump. Now it did this dump at a weird time where I wasn't even looking at the I wasn't looking at the chart, because when I drew it, I was drawing it like this, right? I was trying to draw it like this. I'm trying to just figure out, okay, what type of pattern are you forming? Because this is your drop, this is your bottom. I've never seen this happen before, where something was to pop off of a bearish engulfing long candle, right? That means it pumped up hard and then it dropped really hard, right? I never seen nothing pop off of that, but I was like, if something can, it could be this one, right? It could be this one. So I'm trading it. And then after that, I start stretching it out. I'm like, all right, bet. It's finna do the damn thing. It pump? I missed it. I'm not in it. And then it started. And then I thought it was gonna dump. I'm like, one more bottom. bam, I'm ready for it. So I was not paying attention when it ripped out. This thing ripped out, dropped, right? I think I was like, you know what, let me watch it. And then it started to pump. And I said, oh, it's finna go. It got back above the 0.5 fib level. I bought it. It pumped for like 12% and it retraced and got me right back out the trade. And I'm like, yo, what is going on? I'm literally just staring at the chart. I'm like, bro, what is going on? So I said, man, let me stretch this bad boy out. Let me stretch it out. And then I said, let me zoom out. I said, let me zoom out back to my daily time frame. And I said, oh, I entered something that didn't have bullish reversal divergence on a daily time frame. Okay. I was so worried about the fact that it dumped so hard like the other one that it was going to repeat the same action that the other trade did, but it didn't. So I sat here and I said, all right, if this technically for this to be bullish, I need a bullish reversal divergence on the daily time frame. What that means? That means that price needs to pull all the way back below this point, and then it'll be ready for a buy, for a serious buy. And I said, you know what? Let me zoom out even more and try to see what happened with this asset. And I'm like, oh, this is one of those new tokens. I said, okay, this some new stuff. I said, this new stuff is still finding its support. It's still finding its bottom. So I said, you know what? Ethereum finna fall. This is finna fall. Everything's finna fall today. I told myself today, I said, everything's finna fall. I'm sitting here and I keep trying to force this trade to be bullish, and it's not being bullish. It give me some bullish green candlesticks, but it's not being, luxurious with its buy, right? It's being very, very reserved. So I sat here and I said, you know what? Instead of me looking at this right here as a bullish retest, you know what I did? I said, you know what, Sean? Get into your bag and look at this on a RSI and see where you don't look for bullish divergence. Look for bearish divergence, because you keep thinking that something is bullish based off some bullish divergence somewhere down here. But what you need to be doing is looking for the bearish divergence, because that's what keeps taking you out the trade. All right. You're calling the bullish candlestick, but it ain't holding. Why it's not holding? Because it's not bullish overall, it's bearish overall. So you need to sit here and figure out what's going on. So guess what I did? I said, all right, let me stop the bleeding. Let me look at this chart. I didn't run away from the chart. There's a lot. I could have put my investment on Ethereum and said, you know what? I'm just going to load in heavy on Ethereum short and call it. And that's it. And I said, you know what? No, let me not run away from what has been taking my money, and let me try to understand it. When I looked at this, I said, oh my gosh, this thing has so much bearish divergence where we're making lower highs, right? But we're making higher highs on the RSI. I said, this is clear as day, bearish. I said, this is clear as day. And I said, I would have bought it because I seen it at 6.8 fib. Thinking that this gonna be this is gonna be an anomaly pump. Guess what I did? I said, you know what? Let me follow. Let me fix what I was doing wrong, and let me go ahead and see what type of pattern I can get out of this. And when I drew it, I liked it, and I said, I'm finna take it. And that's why I said in the group, y'all, I got me some shorts going. I got me some shorts. And I felt excited because usually when the market is dropping, I'm out the market. But I said, you know what? Let's have some fun. Let's have some goddamn fun. You know what I'm saying? And guess what we did? We made some damn money. We made some damn money. And I don't know if I 10x at 5x, and I don't know what I did, but I made me a good 50% on TST earlier today. And that was because I stopped the damn bleeding. Instead of run away from my mistakes, I went to go look at it. And guess what? Looking at the chart repaid me with a decent profit, because this is a great drop. This was a what, a 15% drop? No, a 10% drop on a 5x, 50%. Snagged. And I closed it. And I took the money and ran. But when you attack where you went wrong, instead of stubbornly keep trying to force what you don't want to do on the market, instead of trying to force what you want the market to do, instead of doing what the market is doing, it'll sit here. You have a teaching moment, you have a positive moment with yourself, and then you have some profits at the end if you took the trade. Now, I did buy back up into this because I know about bullish retest, but I think I closed the buy and then I switched it to a sell. So I'm probably down right now. But at the end of the day, I'm still happy because I fixed my wrongs. Now I should just let the buy keep running, but the buy was up like 20%. So I said, man, I'm good. Let me just swap it. By the time it decides to fall again, I'll be like at half break even, some shit like that. I'll either be down about 8% or I'll be up about 15%, one of the two. So that was that. But that's just the story, bro. That's just the backstory to how you can sit here and face the reality of things, of you being in a bad trend, in a losing trend, and how you can just go through and fix it. And to me, the best way to fix it, sometimes it is go outside, put your feet in the dirt, right? Go outside or go watch a TV show, go read a book, get yourself out the market, put some time between you and the charts, take a chill pill, and then come back with a fresh perspective. Or you can take the direct approach and say, where did I go wrong? Because from your mistakes, you should better them, right? And which means you're going to just better your trading strategy, because now you're self-teaching yourself. Instead of asking me, what did I go wrong? You can do it yourself and be like, that's where I went wrong. And guess what? If I would have never seen this, I would have never got paid. If I just would have went outside and did whatever the case may be, I would have never got paid. So I would advise everybody, just like I advised the guy earlier, bro, go see where you went wrong. That's the only way you're going to stop the trend. It's only going to stop the trend, because even if you go outside and you detach, your what's that term? You put your feet in the dirt and you let the energy flow off through you and whatnot. That stuff. Even if you do that, right, you can still come back to the market, right, and still have that bullish mindset, and will never change it, because you never sat here and tried to figure out what went wrong. You know what I mean? Like, you never tried to sit here and figure out, what you should have been doing, because instead you just took a break from the market. So now you look at it, you're like, if I look at it with a fresh perspective, but then it looks bullish, and you're like, wait, hold up. And then it is bullish. It's like, oh, it is bullish. Bam, blah, 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 blah. The next thing you know, you get caught back in the bear trap. Because guess what? This was bullish off of a bearish retest. That's it. It wasn't nothing more, it wasn't nothing less, bro. It was a bearish retest. So I don't know why you think that you finna just, make some gains right now. It's a bearish retest. So yeah, if you would have looked at the market before you took your me time, you would have seen that, and you've been able to be like, all right, if I do come back, and if it do sell, and I come back to a buy, I need to go in a sell, because that's a bearish retest, right? So just trying to give a little bit of insight for some of those who do find themselves in that position of catching, of being in a bad, constant downtrend on your pockets, right? It does happen to the best of us. It always happens. But this just some insight. That's how I figured out how to break that cycle. It's not to run away from the market. It's honestly to go figure out where you went wrong. And to me, that's the best answer, because if you find out that you really didn't go wrong, that you just got a bad entry, right? Or if you find out that you were looking at the wrong asset in the first place. Like, I have no business trading this. This is not a good asset to be traded. I don't know why I'm trading in the first place, right? I should be just focusing my time on things that look actually good, right? This does not look good in the least fashion of bullishness. So why am I staring at it, right? So it's a lot of things that you can reveal to yourself. It's like, let me go to this. You know what? Let me go to these. Let me stop messing with these boo-boo tokens. Let me go to XRP, right? Let me go look at Dogecoin. Dogecoin looks a little bit better. You know what I mean? It's just certain that you could just, check yourself on outside of you're not even able to read the chart. Because it's just like, look at that. Look at that. That shit is going crazy. Look at that. Going crazy. Going crazy. It's most likely just formed some type of inverted head and shoulders. Now it's going to go back to the upside. And if it does, I'm going to be upset. But if it's cool though. It's cool though. Because like I said, this is one of those anomaly ones that's supposed to pump. But it is what it is. I'm not going to chase. And they'll never chase. They'll never chase. But that's that trade right there. So just a little insight. Let's see what look at Ethereum hit the target, and it's continuing. It is continuing. What is going on? Something is ripping right now. the US dollar tether dominance. Look at that bad boy go. Oh my God, it's breaking. Did it just break through? It broke through all of this resistance. And it's coming up and it's breaking and it broke and it just broke through that resistance. So it's going right up to that our other first target. What other targets do we have at the top? I don't know where I pulled this from. I told everybody, I said, what? That's gonna be a what? Oh, we could have been in this. That's what this target is. I didn't even see that. A cup and handle. Cup with a great handle. And somehow this is pumping, but guess what? TST is running too. Isn't that crazy? You see how these anomaly tokens, that's a, ooh, that thing right there, boy. But I'm glad I made my little 50%. I'll take that. I'll take that. So boom, boom. And most likely this is like it retraced down to a good Fibonacci retracement. Cup and don't say it pulled the 886 on us. Oh no, it pulled the 786 on us. Boom, straight rippage. Straight rippage. That's some crazy work right there. And it has some nice bullish divergence on it too. So this was one of the freakiest looking falling wedges you would ever chart. This is what it looks like. Let me see. Boom, 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 boom. Bottom right here, next bottom right there. Extreme bullish reversal divergence. Lower low, higher low. Extreme bullish divergence. You do not want to mess with the US. But the US dollar tether dominance chart will take anything it can get. Anything they gonna get to tell them to go be bullish, they gonna take it off GP, bro. They are so greedy, man. So greedy. Bullish move. Okay, we're gonna raise this up just a little bit. Raise up just a little bit and pull this down. So boom, I'll put that to the group so everybody can know too. But yeah, man. So I don't know what this entails for us, but if anything, if that does get hit, then guess what I'll be looking back at too? That rising wedge. That rising wedge. It don't look the prettiest, but hey, it is what it is. Put it just like that. Delete all of this stuff out and then leave it just like that. Even delete this so it don't look too confused so you can see the bigger pattern in general. Delete these two. We already been there. Bada bing. Rising wedge. Wow. To the up. That's crazy work, right? But hey, that's the US dollar dominance chart. It just does what it wants to. It does what it wants to. It's gonna do what it can to fake everybody out the market. So boom, look at that. That Ethereum sell is going crazy. Bitcoin dominance, man. What we see? This thing just hit its way up to this damn area. It is so stubborn, bro. I hate Bitcoin dominance. It's so stubborn. So stubborn. Now, this is also the time when things like this happen. Look at your bigger assets, figure out where they have some resistance at or support, where it's breaking through all of the support we just created. That is mad, yo. That is mad. We just hit our one big node. We finally hit our one big node. Out of all of these nodes, it was the biggest one. If that thing cracks, sheesh. Man, y'all cancel Christmas. Cancel Christmas. That rising wedge, this little ugly broadening wedge. Yeah. Good luck. Good luck. Everybody, man, it was some YouTubers saying, I'm opening a bar today. I said, oh shit. He finna lead his whole group the wrong way. I ain't say nothing though. I said, hey, some people gotta learn. Hey, we gotta read charts before you just, be overbearing on the market. You can't be overbearing on the market. The market would definitely humble you. On Israel and Iran, that is crazy. Total market cap. Look at that. Told you this ugly pullback, y'all. It's gonna be an ugly pullback. It's gonna be an ugly. The shorts are getting paid right now, but it's gonna be an ugly pullback. Pop cat. Oh man, is there some news right now that just came out? Let's see real quick.
Yeah, dude, I said Israel and Iran.
Dang.
I was wondering why crypto was going down for the past hour.
Yeah, ETH just dropped too.
Yeah, it did. What is it? What we know about the New York City crypto kidnapping and torture case? What? What? That is crazy. Crypto giant Binance launching in Syria after the US.
It's not a crypto thing. Go to CNBC. That's where I saw the news. It's the futures are tanking as well. So
Sheesh.
see at the top, the red news.
Oh, what? No way.
And the futures are tanking on that and taking down the cryptos with them.
Oh, this just happened. This just was announced about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
What?
Well, it's a good buying opportunity.
Hey, you're right. You're right. Because I mean, what people don't understand is that in these other countries, crypto is way bigger. Like crypto is like their foundation. They see crypto as a safe haven for their money. So they're going to store it inside of whatever asset that they feel is going to be safest at. So dang, this is crazy. Well, damn. All righty then, y'all. Ooh, we finna be in a brutal week. I wonder what dang, I wonder what how that's gonna affect the stock market. All right, let's go back to crypto news. Let's see if there's something that's said about it could trigger a debt crisis in Bitcoin boom. That's bull. That's bull. That's bull. They did that 4 hours ago, but somehow Bitcoin dumped. Older rates are risking everything for a crypto-funded retirement. New Bitcoin treasuries may crack under price pressure. NFT market is suddenly becoming infrastructure. Okay, where's the sell-off news? New Bitcoin treasuries may crack.
What do you mean? Israel just launched airstrikes against Iran.
Yeah, but
No, that means war.
yeah, but people would throw their money in crypto. Over like worldwide, people throw their money in crypto. It's really they safe haven. Like over like some of my friends in Italy, they get paid their paychecks are in Bitcoin. So they get paid in Bitcoin. They don't get paid in their currency no more. They get paid in Bitcoin. So a lot of people are either, I mean, they could be transferring their money out, right, and converting it over. But why would they convert it over if you're in a war and they're going to be using those same funds, right? The treasury. I don't know if does it now. The only thing is this: is Iran actually connected to like is crypto actually a big foundation for them financially? Like, is their treasury Bitcoin? Do they have
No. All assets are going down. So when something like that happens, I think the first thing to do is shoot first, ask questions later. So you sell everything first and wait until everything goes down and see what the situation is before you start deploying capital again. But the first reaction is just get out of everything.
See, that's crazy.
It's not. It's how you saw it on Liberation Day, April 2nd as well. Sell everything, repricing. It's called repricing. You have to get everything out, wait until the dust settles, and then you start repricing assets again.
Okay. I haven't really been too deep with news when it came to crypto action. I usually just read the charts. That's how I know that stuff is going to fall. So When people say stuff about news, I just look at the charts. So this is actually the first year that I'm actually trying to pay attention to the news and how it may correlate with the charts. But to be honest, I like, yeah, I don't even, I the news don't affect my trading strategy, honestly speaking. But I do try to keep, like now, like I said, starting this year, I've been trying to keep my ear, because I know that the news, especially with Trump and all these people in office now that are crypto related or trying to become crypto related, are going to affect how kind of new traders or investors are going to move in the market. So I got to keep an ear to what y'all are being exposed to, so I can just be like, yeah, that's not true. That, who cares about that's not this. I'm telling you right now, it can be 7 bomb. Ethereum gonna stop at 21 and then boo, 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 right? And then I can explain it because that's just a technical analysis. But the news does play a part, because what that is going to do is going to affect the fear and greed index. And if you're a fear and greed index trader, last time Ethereum was, or the market was at, the fear and greed index was a below 4. So let me pull it up. That was that was actually the perfect time for you to buy some Ethereum. When the greed index, and I think we posted in the group in a group too. When the fear and greed index is below 10, that is the time to buy the market, because that means that everybody is out the market. It's like when I said earlier, if something does a 30% drop, you're not going to be thinking to buy it right then and there. Most of the people are like, they're reacting late anyways. So like a lot of people right now are just now like, oh my gosh, I should pull some profits, because they're like, oh no, Ethereum is dropping. Oh no, the news, all of this stuff. So that reaction that you're talking about, yeah, that's how people are doing it. But is that the reaction you should have? I say hell no. I don't think you should let.
Listen, I'm thinking of moving some money to Coinbase to start buying. What's wrong with you? Let
You're
them
reverse.
sell.
Well, I guess because I'm already in the market. I got my
Okay.
long terms going. So I ain't finna short. I'm shorting the market. So all of this bleeding is like, keep going.
I don't know if it was you or LJ that I told I'm almost 60% in cash because of things like that. So I have enough cash to buy when people are selling.
Yeah. Yep. That's actually the best way to go about it.
Think about it. If your credit card is maxed out and the mall has a sale, you cannot buy.
Come on now. You speaking facts. You speaking facts. But wow, that's no, you're right. That is definitely how you attack the market. You do the opposite of what people are doing. People are selling, that's when you're supposed to be buying.
Look at the AAII index. I think it's Bank of America.
Where's that at? What I gotta type it in Google?
Yeah, I think it's AAII. It's the AAII, I think. I'm not sure. AAII.
Oh, AA.
I think. AAII, I think it is. And Bank of America after it.
All right.
No, AAII. Yeah, there you go. That's the one you should be following. It's the most accurate, in my opinion.
And what does this tell you?
It tells you if the market is overbought or oversold as a whole.
Does it have a chart? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. BAC.
No, this is Bank of America itself.
Oh, so it's not. Do they got a chart like?
No.
I want to see the chart.
AAII is the signal thing.
So if I type in AAII.
No, I don't think so.
JP Morgan. I see that.
No, this is not. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, that's cool. Because if you say that's the most accurate one, I'm like, yeah, let me put my ears and eyes to that one. Because I have to log in and be a part of y'all system. I don't even know how to read this, but net cash flow minus 39. So what does that mean? Money's being taken out? Long-term debt is median. How do you read it? Mike. Mike. Mike.
Oh, sorry. I
Okay.
accidentally muted myself. I don't know
Oh,
what you're
sorry about
looking at
that.
here. I don't know what you're looking at here. I usually look at the chart itself.
How do you oh, okay. I'll just ask you which one do you when you search it, how do you
right there. Go to AAII.com.
this one?
No, the one below it.
This one.
Yeah, maybe they have a chart. No, just forget it. Let's not waste time. If I find it, I'll send it to you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, would it be this right here? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, if you do find it, definitely send it to me. That could definitely be useful. I didn't know about that. But yeah, market is tanking, y'all. That's some good perfect timing with the news and whatnot. But let's see where the Ethereum decides to drop down to. It definitely just exceeded that that 2500 bearish move that we had, and it fell even harder. So let's see if I could find another pattern. I don't even see where I would find a pattern at. I don't even see the pattern. This is just around the top, just paying his bills, baby. This is just paying his bills. If anything, this is where the area, I would have hoped that it would have stopped right here, but it looks like it's stopping right here, but it looks like it's going to keep going. Like the market is trying to tank hard, especially with the US dollar. Yeah, this thing is pumping. So yeah, it looks like it's not going to stop until it hits at least some of this resistance up here. We do have some resistance right here, so we can look right there to try to hopefully get a cool down to be able to look at the market and kind of figure out. Oh, thank you, Mike. To try to figure out where it is falling down to. Ah, okay. Hold up. Let me pull this up so everybody else can see it too. So right here on the day. So from if it's what more than the other one, that's the one that you go.
Look on April 2nd, the Liberation Day. Look at the bearish versus the bullish.
Oh, 61 to 21. Damn.
And that's when you buy.
Smart guy. Okay. Round of applause. Oh, let's go. Okay, then. I like that. I like that. Hold up. Let me think. Hold up. Let me see something. Let me see something real quick. Let's see if I can find. What date is this? Fear and greed. Let me see something. Go back to this. So that was on the 9th. April 2nd, April 9th. Okay, cool. All right, cool. I like that. I like that. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, then. All right, then. You just gave me some confirmation. I need to save this. I need to bookmark this. Appreciate that, bro. That's clutch. That was clutch. Yeah, that was clutch.
But look at today then.
Today is 33.
June. Yeah, 33. It's almost even.
Right.
A third. So it's neutral. The whole market is neutral.
Uh-huh. Okay. I like that. Wow. When has the buy's been big? Not that much. I'm gonna have to pay attention to this, because this could definitely correlate with the fear and greed index. And on top of that, it could let me know how people like you, people who operate like how you do, how y'all choose to invest. Because this is because I know you're an old school trader, Mike. I know you old school. So I know that there's a lot of other old school traders that's doing the exact same thing that you're doing. So I need to be hip to the game to when y'all big whalers are hopping in these markets. So I'm definitely going to be paying attention to this and try to see how these ratios play out and what effects it has to crypto. Just is kind of correlate them, because that is actually pretty dope. Wow, this thing is really dropping. Let's go. Let's go. Ethereum is dead. I'm sorry. I know. Hold on. I'll take that back. I'm just joking, y'all. Ethereum is not dead. I'm just saying. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. Only thing I think of for Ethereum right now, y'all, is that it's forming an inverted, well, a head and shoulders pattern, another one, a bigger one, and we're coming down to somewhere right about here. And we're going to bounce back up for a right shoulder. That is about it. With everything with the news that just came about, right? That's kind of giving me the sentiment that we're going to do even bigger, because most likely there's going to be a response from what was just said or what was just announced. And if that response is even worse, and it's like they're going tit for tat, or I don't know what's going on, to be honest. But if it's bad, if it's more bad news, then I can expect another bad drop, right? So this is the relief rally that people are going to be looking for. But this would definitely give us a good entry on another Ethereum setup. So I'll be looking for this to kind of form and to see what we can get out of Ethereum. Now, if this just continues to drop and hits this trend line and somehow gets some magical bounce, then I would just believe in this broadening rising wedge and then call it a day. But if this was to play out, this inverted head and shoulders, this head and shoulders, sorry. This head and shoulders was to play out, we're going to put it at the top of the right shoulder. So we're going to use the left shoulder's top. So let me make it a little bit bigger. You see what I mean? That top right there, that's where we're going to put our measure move. So the highest point for the left shoulder is where we project our right shoulder top to. And then pull it all the way down. That's going to bring what I said. If Ethereum drops to 2100, I wouldn't be surprised. That's going to take you down to 2145. I would not be surprised to see Ethereum at 2100. And yeah, boy, if that happens, let me zoom out and show y'all what trade I see forming for Ethereum. And this is going to be an early projection. I have to delete this and take these off. Those are already off. All of these lines, we already surpassed them. So take off, take 2690. I don't remember which one that. Oh, that was one that we were talking about. I'll leave that on, and then leave this one on too. 2314. Actually, take that one too. That's confusing. So this is what I see for Ethereum, because I was paying attention to this right here. This is what caught my eye. This dip right here. So let me go to the proper 4-hour time frame, and we can get ready to get off, so y'all can get ready to enjoy the rest of y'all weekend in white. So 2100. Boom. Here we go. So I was paying attention to this dip. I was like, this dip means a lot. I said, this dip ain't just going to go unnoticed. This dip is going to have to play another role. So I was like, you know what? I think this is going to be a left shoulder, y'all. I was like, this is going to be a left shoulder, and it's going to fake everybody out, because that's what I would do if I was the market makers. I would, man, I'll dump the market like nobody's business, and just make people just be like, no, let me take profits. I'm going to buy back in at whatever, whatever price they think is going to be, right? And then shoot Ethereum out the water. Shoot it out the water, y'all. That's what I'm anticipating, and which is why I said, if it doesn't pump to 3300, I see 21. I see 21. I see 21, because this thing can definitely drop all the way down here. 21. What does this wick fall down to? This wick falls all the way down to, what was that, 2149? So I'm put it right there. So if y'all like, look, hey, I might want a second position, I'll be looking at 2149 area. If this is going to break all this resistance, all of this support, if Ethereum is going to stall, hit this bottom neckline, stall, do what it got to do, and then fall in. Because don't forget, we're still looking for, I'm not going to get into that. Let me not get into that. We're going to stay on track. So if Ethereum falls, right, and it's able to do some cool stuff right here, right? He's kind of fade out a little bit, do some cool little stuff, not be too heavy on a sell still, but kind of, you know, just mellow out just a little bit. Then you could be looking at a Fibonacci retracement and just be waiting for, I guess, that 0.5. I was hoping it was 618. Well, you could be looking for a bearish retest. That's about it. A bearish retest back to the other side and another nasty drop again back to the 618 fib level. So that is actually pretty nice. I like that I like that it dropped some more. So let's see if this now newly projected head and shoulders pattern can fill in. All right, we want an alert touch down here at 24. All right, get at 24.80. Look for a potential bounce back up to around about 25. At the max is about 26. I don't see it getting back up all the way back up here, but we can, because this easily can be a inverted cup with a rising wedge handle to the upside. All right, giving us that bearish retest. So if not, I hope that this does fill out, because if it is an inverted cup and handle, like I said, inverted cup and handles aren't definite patterns to me, which means that they're going to dump or fall. I mean dump or pump, right? So it has no loyalty. So if that's the case, I don't want it to be an unloyalty pattern, because we're going to be in limbo trying to figure out, are we going to dump? Are we going to pump? Is at the end? If we keep forming inverted head and shoulders on patterns on top of inverted head and shoulders patterns, so now we got a strong sell coming on, then we can sit here and believe in our overall bullish retest and our bigger picture of Ethereum pumping to its all-time highs. So no matter what the market does, it's going to lead us to favor. We just want the more probable, easygoing, psychological favor. All right, we want to be able to think long-term buys for Ethereum. All right, and not necessarily just day trading, swing trading, scalp trading on Ethereum. We're thinking Ethereum all-time high, Ethereum all-time high, all-time high, all-time high. Like, that's what our mindsets are. Well, that's what mine is all-time high Ethereum, all-time high Ethereum, all-time high Ethereum. Bitcoin did it, Ethereum has to do it. Bitcoin did it, Ethereum has to do it. So the altcoins still look good. They're still in decent positions. Not like any of them look stupid ugly, except for the ones that are, you know, frankly new. So still be looking for some of those. And until then, hopefully next Saturday we'll be able to, I don't know, I guess kind of depict. Oh my God, y'all, it might even fall to 23. This can be a left shoulder, big old head, big old right shoulder for a relief rally, bullish retest, hit, and then fall even longer, which could be, hold up. I know I keep drawing inverted head and shoulders, but I mean, it's the pattern that pays. Because you just got to pull out these scenarios. So when y'all be like, oh my God, it looks like it's doing this, y'all can kind of recall, oh, Sean did say if it hits this level, it might go here. If it hit that level, it might go here. If it hit that level, then it might do this. Y'all kind of just, you know, go with the flow. So let's see. If this was to happen, right, we just form this bearish pattern, this bearish head and shoulders pattern, right? But this being our left shoulder, our head, and then our right shoulder, right? If that was the full measured move, that was a bigger pattern that we're forming. That would take us clean into some decent support, 0.65 fib level, past the 618 might get a slight bounce, but that seems pretty good too. On a full retracement, right? On a full Fibonacci retracement from bottom to top, that this pattern makes sense. So we can see more chop at 23. All right, we may hit this and break and fall. All right, but if you entered here, okay, if you enter here, or you enter at the top of this right shoulder, if this was the initial inverted head and shoulders, right, the secondary inverted head and shoulder, with this being the left shoulder, let me zoom this in so you can see it. With this being the left shoulder, right, that's giving us the head, and then the right shoulder. Believe me, if this falls, right, if this decides to pump, your entry don't mean crap. Okay, if this hits this level and get a clean rejection, your entry is going to get wiped out, because it's going to come fill this right shoulder. All right, if it's going to come fill this right shoulder, if people are buying these big dips, all right, because they think this is the time that they should get some Ethereum, because anything below 3,000 is basically a snag, right? If that's the case, then you can imagine that some people are going to be buying right here, all right, and trying to ride that bad boy back up. And guess what? The charts are going to give it to them. They're going to give them that ooh, you think you're doing something, huh? And then it's going to suck you dry again. So just be mindful of that. We're keeping our options open. We're not being, committed to any one thing. We're going to keep our mindsets open. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to let y'all go. All right. Trade safely. Let's keep our ears to the market. Let's pray for those across seas who's kind of going through it right now. And let's hope that not too many people are really being affected and that this is some smoke that can hopefully blow over. Because yeah, real world is still going out there. And that can be one of our, long family members, right? So you never know. So keep them in your prayers, and let's be appreciative of the safeness that we're experiencing in our own country. So with that being said, I'm gonna let y'all go. If y'all need me, I'll be in the charts, setting up future plays, trying to figure out what can be some some anomaly pumps. But until then, I will see y'all on Tuesday and the rest of y'all inside of the Discord.
Can I ask you a question before you go?
Sean? Go ahead, Mike. What you got?
So I see all these note takers and
welcome, Michelle.
What are they actually recording voice and video and text?
No. No, the note takers, people drop their note takers in here just to jot down, like it basically like jots down like 10 minutes of talking or 15 minutes of talking, and it puts it in a paragraph form. So I don't think it necessarily jots down what you say, right? But it does jot down what I say, if that makes sense. What the hell?
What happened?
No, I was looking for my Ethereum sale, and I think I put a stop loss, or I think I put a take profit on accident. Damn it! I wanted to keep running. Oh, it didn't close out. Dang, Sean, you didn't have to put the stop. I put a take profit on that bad boy. I wanted to keep going. Shoot, I wanted to keep going. Dang, I did not know I did that. I must have been rushing. I probably was just rushing. I probably was most likely just rushing. It's okay though. It's okay. Dang it. Dang. All right. But it's cool though. It's cool though. But yeah, it just I don't have one. I don't have a note taker, but how I think that everybody else just uses theirs, they'll throw it in here, and after that, it'll start just kind of recording like it don't voice record, but it just summarizes bits and pieces of what's it called. I really wanted to hear this entire session. I couldn't make it. Oh yeah. It's you can replay it back on the YouTube. Let me pull it up for you. Yeah, because we're streaming live on YouTube. So as soon as I end it, you can play it right back, Michelle. I mean, not Michelle. Don't tell me.
Marquetta.
Oh, I was gonna get it. but yes, Marquetta. It was definitely it's on YouTube. Let me go and give you the link real quick. You're welcome.
Is that the same link you gave me the other night for YouTube?
Yeah, it's on the page. Yeah. It's on the page. So once I get done, as soon as we end this, well, I'll show you. Let me end this, and then it should.
Okay, put it in here, and then I'll put it in my email. Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay.
Let me end this. Let me end the streaming first, and then it can finish. All right. You got any more questions for me?